Hey there, it's Parker0231. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to install and set up the Redon Hub on a Windows system. The process is practically the same on most systems, however some commands might be slightly different. So let's get into it. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to open up the repository. You can find a link to this in the description of the video. And while you're here, if you have a GitHub account, you should star the repository. Just lets me know that you enjoy it, and it helps spread it around a bit more, which might help more people find and use this amazing project. Amazing, quote unquote. So what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down and we're going to find the link that says visit the official documentation. Right click and open link in a new tab. Now the reason why we are doing this is because the documentation is always up to date. I cannot update these videos after I upload them, which makes it much harder for users to follow the latest instructions on how to install the system. So we will follow the guide one-to-one in this video. So you should do the same thing yourself. You can use this video as a reference if you really need it, but please just follow the documentation. It will make your life about 1,000 times easier if anything ever changes in the future. So let's get into it. We're going to hit the setup button, and then we're going to read over the overview real fast. Redon Hub is designed to be as easy as possible to use, but it is still a complex system. Please do not attempt to install or use this if you don't have at least a basic understanding of how Discord bots work, because it will be very, very difficult for you to figure out. And then we're going to have a couple requirements. We need a computer to host the system on. This computer must have the ability to have an open port, which means that anybody on the internet can access the web server. If you cannot do that, you will need to have a host. We provide a host at Redon Tech. You can find this here. You can click on We Provide a Hosting Service, and it will direct you to our hosting panel if you really need it. If you don't need it, that's fine, but if you need a host, just use our host. It is going to be about 1,000 times easier, and I will not provide support with port forwarding. Any support tickets to do with port forwarding will be marked as other, and I will not help with it. You must also have a relational database, such as MySQL, Postgres, or a MongoDB database, and that must already be set up and ready to use. You have to have a Discord bot token, you must have Python 3.9 installed, and you must also have Git installed. So let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open a terminal and navigate to the directory you want to install the system in. So in my case, it's going to be on the D drive, and then it's going to be in the folder called YouTube. And I'm going to clear out. And we're going to run a couple commands just to make sure that we have everything installed. To do that, we're going to run python -version, and we'll see Python 3.9. If this errors, if it says it cannot find it, you need to install Python. You can look up a guide on how to do that online. Same thing with Git. We're going to run git --version. We're also going to confirm again if it errors and it says it cannot find it, you need to install Git. You can find guides how to do that online. And now we're also going to run python -m pip --version. Same thing, if it says it cannot find pip, look up a guide on how to install pip online. These are the three big requirements for this process. If you do not have these, you'll have trouble installing because they're required. Except for Git. You don't need Git, it's just going to make your life about 1,000 times easier. So let's get into it. So the second command is git clone. Going to run that. It's going to create it. Cool. Now we're going to cd into that directory. Redon Hub. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to run git checkout. This command here only works on Linux, so do not run it on Windows because it will error. But we're going to go over to the repository again. And right here, when this video comes out, you will see a button that says 1.0.0, and then it will say latest. It will look similar to this. Okay, and you're going to click on that. But in my case, because the system isn't fully released, I'm just going to click on that, and you'll see I'm going to click on this. But this is only in my case. If you see a button there that says latest, you click on that one. And what we're going to see is we're going to see this right here, 1.0-rc.final.2. You're going to want to remember that. In your case, it's probably just going to be 1.0.0 or 1.0.1 or whatever. But what we're going to do is we're going to run git checkout. and then whatever it says right there. So 1.0-rc.final. Then it will check it out. Basically, all that means is that we're on the latest version, so the latest supported version, which will mean there's probably not going to be as many bugs, and you're probably less likely to encounter the issues. Next, we're going to do enter pipenv. We can do this by running python-m pip install pipenv. Give it some time to do the install. You can see I already have it I already have it installed. But next we're going to run python-m pipenv install. And what this will do is it's going to create a pipenv, which is basically like a virtual environment for Python to run in. And it's also going to install the dependencies. So I'll be back once it's done with that. Okay, and it is now done installing. So hopefully we'll see to activate this project virtualenv run pipenv shell. That's exactly what we're going to do next. We're going to run python-m pipenv shell. And what you'll notice is what will happen in a couple of seconds here. It will, instead of saying this, it will say Redon Hub dash couple random numbers, and then it will say the directory that you're in. So after we do that, I'm actually just going to clear the terminal so we can have a clean slate to work with, and we're going to move on to our database setup. So the database setup can be very complicated, so we're going to go through this together. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a env file. We can do this by going into the folder, right-clicking, clicking new, and text document, and naming it .env. Make sure that it asks you to make sure you want to change it. If it doesn't ask this, then you don't have file extensions enabled, and you can follow the video in the docs to see how to do that, but I'm not going to show you here. So after we have that env file created, we're going to edit it in your whatever word processor that you want. In my case, I'm going to use Visual Studio. And then we're going to copy and paste this into here. And so what we have is this connection string, and we need to get this connection string from wherever we have our host at. In my case, it is going to be set up somewhere else, so let me go grab it. Okay, so I have got my connection string. Whoa, I clearly did not copy properly. Okay, so I got my connection string. Make sure you copy and paste it into here. That is the wrong thing I just clicked on. And in my case, it starts with this JDBC, but we're actually just going to delete that. And this is my connection string. Doesn't really matter if you copy it. I might hide it in editing, but it will be deleted by the time this video comes out anyways, so it doesn't really matter. Alright, anyways. Just make sure that the password and the username are all URL encoded, so that way it can actually identify the @ symbol and everything like that. And then we're going to go back into our terminal and also reopen our documentation. And it's going to say, using Prisma. We use Prisma to manage our database, because it makes managing databases a lot easier, and I'm also very, very lazy. So in my case, as we can see in the connection string, it says database equals MySQL. So we're going to click on the MySQL MariaDB button. If you have MariaDB, you also want to use this. In my case, I know it's MariaDB, but the connection string just still says MySQL. Okay, so it will give us commands for Windows. We're going to run python-m prisma generate. So let's run that, and it might take some time, but as you can see for me, it was very quick. And we're going to do the same thing for db push. Now, do not do this if your database has information on it, because it could corrupt that information. Only do this if your database is blank, and then we're going to do that. And it might take some time. As we can see, mine errored because it cannot reach the database. This is because my firewall blocked it, and my firewall is very slow. So hopefully it will work this time. There we go. As you can see, it worked this time. And it will also auto-run the generate command. I just like to do the generate command for, just as a backup, just in case. All right, and now that we've done that, our database should be set up, so we can clear this out again. And we can move on to configuration. So we have to create the config.json file. We can do this by opening up our documents, and we just copy and paste the example config.json and just rename it to config. Then we can open this in our file editor of choice. Again, I'm going to use Visual Studio, and we can see all the config options. So let's go over each option individually. So we have our bot and then our prefix. This is unused. It will only be used if you add custom cogs. It will never be used by the bot by default, as it uses / commands. Then we have our guilds, and this is just the guilds that the server will register its commands in. It's done like this because it's faster than uploading it globally. Also important to note that the first guild in this list will be used for the logging information down below. Then we have our owners. This is just a list of the owners. I don't think it's used right now in the bot, but it could possibly be used in the future. We have our activity. Presence is what shows up on the bot itself. So it says like watching users, customers, version. To get information about what can go inside these parentheses, or we can go to the docs. We can have users, guilds, the version of the bot, the prefix. Those are all the built-in ones as of right now. And then we can have our status, which is currently set to online. This can also be a D&D, idle, away, which corresponds to the ones that you can set yourself. Doesn't really change much. I usually just leave it online, but you can also set it to away and it will completely go away or whatever. Or sorry, it will go to orange or whatever color that is. I don't remember off the top of my head. Okay, so we have our logging and our purchases channel. This is the channel which all purchase logs will be sent to. Then we have a global customer role. This is the role ID of role to give to a customer who purchases any product, no matter what product that be. And then we have our database type, which I know in my case is MySQL. If you set it to MongoDB or MySQL, those are the only important ones. Otherwise, you can change it to whatever you want. Then we have our API and our key. I'm just going to leave this all at default for now. So let's fill in all of our information. We've got our guilds, which I'm going to copy my guild ID. We have our owners, and I'm going to copy my user ID for that. And we're going to, wait, is that my user ID? I think I might have copied something else. Oh, it's okay. Then I've got my purchases channel, which I'm just going to set up as my general channel in my testing server for now. And our customer role, which I am also going to just set as a new role in the testing server. And copy the role ID and save it to here. You have to make sure that the role ID is below the bot in the list. And that's it for the configuration. Next, we want to finish our env file with our bot token. You can get your bot token from the Discord developer portal. So here is mine. I guess you can copy it. It will be reset. I might blur it out in editing. I probably don't, because I just like moved it around and that would be difficult to remove. Anyways, so we're going to paste it into our token right there. And we're also going to, while we're here, invite the bot to our Discord server, which we can do by going to URL generator. We're going to click on applications.commands, bot, and administrator. Then we're just going to copy and paste into a new tab. Now we're going to select the server. I'm going to select my bot testing server, authorize, make sure you're human. I am a human, that's great. Okay. So now the bot has been invited to our server. We'll look at that in a little bit. And we're going to continue following our guide. And now we're going to run the bot. Exciting. So now all we're going to do to run the bot is just run Python, launcher.py, and just make sure it all works. There we go. Again, my firewall likes to block stuff. Okay, we got an error. Let's see, what was our error? Oh, privileged intents. So let's do that. So this bot also just by default uses all privileged intents. In the future, it probably won't, but for now it does. Just because I was too lazy to go through and figure out which ones it doesn't need. So after we enable the privileged intents, we can launch the bot again, and you can see that the bot has gone online. So let me pull up the Discord server, and then we can go over that. Okay, welcome to the Discord server. We can see that the bot is indeed online, and we can see the status that we set for it in the config file. And if we run /users, or sorry, if we run /products, we will see that we can get all products. Or not. We're going to do product admin create. Oh, I just realized I'm sending this to the wrong bot. That is probably why it is not working. I need to send it to the correct bot. Okay, so now we get to choose a product name. I'm just going to name it test. Test. Price in Robux, 100. I'm going to set this to 0 for now. We can change this in the future. Same thing with this. RBX asset ID ://0. We can always change that in the future. It's going to ask us for attachments. I'm just going to use Redon.tech website for it. And then I'm going to say done. And it will clear everything out, and it will say your product's been created. And then we can see that by running /products. Make sure you run it on this correct bot, and we'll see our product. Okay, so now that we have a product created, we can go ahead and set up our Roblox hub. So to do this, we're going to go back to our overview. We're going to click on Roblox setup. Now this is a very easy setup. Oh, this is a very easy setup. We're going to select the theme, which we can see over here. We can see all the different themes. You can choose default, the cyborg theme, the Capuchin, I don't know how you say that, honestly. In my case, I'm going to use this theme because if you can't tell, that's kind of what all my themes are on this computer right now. So I'm going to use this one. So how do we get our theme? Well, like it says that right there, but that's not it. We got to download the latest release of the theme. To do this, we're going to go back to the latest release we pulled up earlier, and we see all these assets down here. We can see all these RBXL files. We're going to open up the theme we want. I want this theme. So we're going to download that. Then we're going to open it up. Welcome to the studio. So you'll notice, even though I chose the Capuchin theme, it still looks like this. That's because the theme doesn't load up until you're in-game. So we can just ignore this for now and act like this is not the theme, because it's not the theme. Now what we're going to do is we're going to open up server script service and open up the configuration file. Oh no, scary. More config stuff. Well, it's okay, because again, I have it documented just for you guys. So we got our configuration explained, so let's go over it. So we have our server address. This is the IP address of the server along with the port that is running on. In my case, if I go over here, you'll see that it says the 0.0.0.0:5000. Well, that's not it, because A, I don't have a port forwarded right now, and B, 0.0.0.0 is not even my IP address. So how am I supposed to do this if I don't have a port forward? Well, in my case, I'm just going to go set one up on my hosting provider that I have. So give me 2 seconds and I'll do that. And by the hosting provider I have, I mean the hosting provider that I own that you guys can use as well. So I'm going to go do that real fast and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to show you guys something really cool if you decide to use our hosting service. I already set everything up on my computer, so why should I have to set it up again on a hosting provider? Well, you don't have to. You can just come over here to the files and drag and drop your env and config files right into the browser, and it will save them right into the bot, and we can run our bot. We can see it starts up for us. That's great. And now we just have to copy our node by literally clicking on the copy button right here. We just click on this, and we just, oh, wow, I am having a hard time clicking on the right things today. And we just paste it into there, just like that. And then we can change this to our API key, which in our case is literally change this. If you remember earlier, I was too lazy to change it. So, or it's change me. So yeah, that's cool. All right. So that's the server address and the API keys. The server address is the address your server runs on. must have the http:// at the beginning, or it might have to be https depending on what your server setup is. We have our brand name. I'm going to leave this as Redon Tech because I'm Redon Tech. We have our brand image, our about us. A brand image can be an RBXS ID, or in this case, what it looks like right here. And you can have your about us. Redon Tech is a tech company. Unbelievable. And then we have our featured product, which is just the name of the product that you want featured on the home page of the hub. And then we have our custom color stuff. You can change the colors if you want, or you can just leave them at the default. And yeah, so if we hit the play button, it should just work. There is no reason for you to publish this and then try it in game. You can try it in studio, and it will work perfectly fine. Usually. And this time, it will work. And you can see we get our beautiful theme with our verify, and it tells us the link up. So let's go put that in. So we open up Discord, we use verify, link, and then whatever it says. Oh, again, we have to do it with the right bot. Again, I was testing this all with the other bot, which doesn't work in this case. So we can see user verified. So we're verified. Cool. Now if we type /profile and obviously select the right bot, you can see our linked account, our own products, and everything like that. We go back into Hub and hit continue. You can see everything loads up. Now obviously there isn't even an image, and that is because we linked no image to the actual product. You can get an image for the product off of your Roblox develop page. So if I go create.roblox.com, dashboard, and go to our development items, decals, or images, and then you can upload your image. So I'm gonna go find a good image that I can use. That's great, Roblox. Okay, I found an image. So you can see this copy asset ID. I'm gonna copy that. We're gonna go into our bot. We're gonna do product, admin, update. We're gonna go to tutorial, test. We're gonna update other values. We're gonna put in for the image ID. Just gonna put that in. Product has been updated. And now if we go in and close and reopen, because it caches products, so we can't just wait for it to update. Close and reopen. And we should see our, our image. And as you can see, it loads up perfectly fine. And it even loads up in our test. And it fits to the frame. And it has our price and everything like we set it. Now here is something, if you're worried about setting the price manually, you don't actually have to worry about that. If you grab yourself an ID from a game, I'll just go grab one from a game I know has one. Grab yourself a developer product ID. It doesn't matter what price it is, it could be the one Robux one, which is this in this case. And if we go and update again, product admin update, and then we say test, update other values, and we set our product ID to that. If we close and reopen the game one more time, what we'll see is that even though the price that I set on the bot was 100, because I put a developer product ID and it automatically detected the developer product ID and corrected it. So you do not have to worry about them being two separate things. It will still automatically correct. So yeah, like I said, we can go ahead and purchase the product. If we hit purchase, we buy it for 1, hit buy, we can go to our Discord, and then what we'll see is we got a DM from the bot. Click on it, it says product retrieved. And to ignore this, because if you can't tell, there was a cut because there was an issue with the bot. So, you know, stuff happens, right? Anyways, I'll be looking into fixing that before the release comes out, obviously. As I fixed it in this video within like 3 clicks, so it can very easily be fixed for the final release. But yeah, as you can see, the bot works perfectly fine. If you have any issues, you can create a support ticket in the Discord down below. And yeah, this was probably a really bad tutorial, so my bad. But if you enjoy my products, if you enjoy the work that I've done, this has been a lot of work in the making. This is like 7 months in the making. So if you enjoy it, subscribe, like, join our Discord server, and please start on GitHub. You can join the Discord server right here. There's also a link in the description, and the subscribe button is right there. So, I mean, if you can, just like hit the button. You don't have to like the video if you subscribe, but if you don't subscribe, at least like the video, right? Anyways, it's 11 o'clock. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. Good night.